Welcome everyone, this is AndresRestart, and this time, we're talking about something I kind of glossed over yesterday that's actually, potentially, a really big deal. Now, I don't want to overhype people, so please do take this with a grain of salt. Until it's confirmed, we don't know what's actually going to happen. But yesterday we talked about how there is this amiibo restock situation, and how amiibo restockings tend to always line up with some sort of relatively decent or major Nintendo announcement or event. And there are several Nintendo restocks that are supposed to happen this November, and they're related to Mario, Metroid, Zelda, and Smash. You know, like the 4 coolest Nintendo IP, at least for me. Like, there are others that I love, but those are really big deal franchises, and we may be getting news on all of them really soon. So that's what I'd like to talk about today. Today's gonna be a fairly simple edit. I got another bigger Zelda video I'm working on, so that's kind of the priority today, but I felt that I should talk about this because it's kind of a big point I missed from yesterday's video that I do think needs to be expanded on, and there may be a number of implications here, so let's get into it. But before we do, let me just remind you guys that we are aiming to reach 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so if you do enjoy my content, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. With your help, it can happen. So the basic story is that Paraspikey on Famaboards, who has this history of doing the amiibo restock research and has seen how it's lined up with a lot of major Nintendo events, is seeing that many Nintendo amiibo restocks are happening in early November, and the speculation is that this would be for a Switch 2 teaser, which a few different insiders have suggested may happen. I'm still taking it with a grain of salt. I'm not assuming it's going to happen for sure. We may have to wait till sometime next year for the actual teaser, like the actual reveal. We're not even talking about release. I do think the release is happening sometime next year, but the basic point is this may not happen. So again, try not to overhype yourselves, but if this is happening, it's really exciting. So why would we get information on Mario, Zelda, Metroid, and Smash? Because we are set to get amiibo restocks on all of these IP. And perhaps the easiest way to envision us to still get news on all of those IP at this point in the year is if there's some sort of event that showcases a series of games. And since we just got the September Nintendo Direct, there will probably not be any more major directs for this year because that's never happened before. The only thing that sort of adds up if we assume that these amiibo restocks actually mean we're getting news on these different franchises is if there's going to be a teaser for new hardware that will showcase multiple games. This would function very similarly to how we got the Switch teaser, which showcased Zelda, Mario, Splatoon, Mario Kart. So it may be the case that this Switch 2 teaser will be something that will showcase the new 3D Mario that's rumored to be the launch title, finally footage on Metroid Prime 4, maybe news on a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Deluxe for the system, and some sort of Zelda update. And you see, what's interesting about this is that Jeff Grubb did tell us that he's heard that there's supposed to be some sort of Zelda announcement that's not related to Tears of the Kingdom happening before the end of this year. And he's also said that he thinks that Switch 2 would be announced sometime this year. If that's actually going to happen, then a teaser event of Switch 2 would kind of make sense, and it could showcase something Zelda that's not Tears of the Kingdom related. Now, what might that be? I'm gonna guess some kind of Zelda remake. Recently, Nintendo has told us that there are no DLC plans for Tears of the Kingdom, so unless they're just lying to us, or they changed plans really recently, there probably won't be any DLC announced this year, or ever, for this game. So if there's a teaser for Switch 2 showcasing something Zelda related, I don't think it's going to be Tears of the Kingdom DLC. It could be something else Zelda that showcases the visuals of Switch 2. Now, it's also possible that maybe there's going to be a re-release for Breath of the Wild and or Tears of the Kingdom at a higher resolution, a higher frame rate with better visuals. We did hear about that tech demo from Gamescom that was running Breath of the Wild at 4K 60 frames per second with no load times. That could be what this teaser showcases, just better versions of Switch games. Which wouldn't be new DLC content, it would be an entirely other new entry. It would be simply an enhanced port of these games. But then that would be Tears of the Kingdom related, wouldn't it? So given Nintendo's recent knack for giving us a lot of really high-end remasters and remakes, at least compared to what we've gotten for the different Zelda remakes, and I say that with air quotes, or more like enhanced ports or remasters, maybe Nintendo's willing to do something a little bit more ambitious for Zelda, to have something cool Zelda related early on the next system. I think a remake could be something. Of course, that is me fully speculating, that is full-on optimism. Maybe it's just Twilight Princess Wind Waker HD, maybe in 4K, which would be nice. But of course, all of this is optimistic speculation because we don't even know if there's actually going to be a Switch 2 teaser this year, but there are some signs suggesting so, hence why we're having this conversation. Going beyond Zelda though, I do think it's interesting about us getting finally Metroid information here. This could be a great way to start the conversation on Metroid Prime 4, at least like divulging actual details. I doubt they're just going to shall drop Prime 2 out of nowhere. I think at this point, the rumors for Prime 2 won't be until early next year. But a Metroid Prime 4 proper unveiling, or at least some sort of glimpse of it during this teaser event, I can see it happening. The same applies for 3D Mario. With all this Mario talk going on, with all this popularity of the Mario Bros. Movie, maybe Nintendo wants to get people excited with a new 3D Mario being teased in this teaser. Very much kind of how they teased Mario Odyssey in the teaser for Switch 1. That makes sense. But then there's also the angle of Smash Bros. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate finished all its DLC, and there hasn't been any major updates for a while, except now that we have the confirmation of the Sora amiibo, they actually have to go into the game and update the game so it can be compatible with one more amiibo being the Sora amiibo. So they're going back into the game to update it. Does that mean they're perhaps willing to go back into Smash Bros. And do a few other things? I'm not expecting new content for Switch, but given how complete Smash Ultimate is, and that Switch 2 is around the corner, Nintendo may want to do a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe situation again. Except this time it would be for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, so I imagine another release with enhanced visuals and some new content and better online play. I can see that being made available very early on into the system's life. Heck, I can even see that as a launch window title sometime next year. We're not talking about a brand new whole Smash Bros. Game, simply an enhanced version of Smash Ultimate with some new content that could definitely be made available for next year on Switch 2. And we may see a tease of that during this hypothetical Switch 2 teaser that we have some signs for, but should definitely still take with a grain of salt. I said that repeatedly here because I just want to caution people. The possibility of getting new Mario game information, like 3D Mario, Metroid Prime 4, some kind of Zelda content that would be befitting of a Switch 2 teaser that wouldn't be about Tears of the Kingdom 2, and a Smash Ultimate Deluxe, that's a lot of exciting stuff. And that might be what warrants all of these different Smash amiibo restocks. Of course, it's also totally possible that we're just getting these Smash amiibo restocks because it's the holidays. Of course, this hasn't happened before. They always tend to line up with some kind of event. But patterns can change. It may be simply tied to trying to get them pushed out one more time before Nintendo does move on to next generation system. So maybe it is related to Switch 2, but not in the sense of us getting a teaser. Of course, I go into a whole bunch of other details on this possible event in yesterday's video, so if you missed it, you can check it out. And if you're waiting for that bigger Zelda video, I'm working on that today, should be out sometime tomorrow. Anyways, everyone, this is AndresRestart. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and I'll see you all really soon. Take care. Bye.